I'm Stuart Goldsmith, and you are watching The Infinite Sofa here at twitch.tv/Stu Goldsmith. We've got an incredible show for you today, and because it's the Machynlleth Comedy Festival, or rather it should be this week, and it's very dear to my heart and very likely your heart as well, this is a Mach-themed special. I'm going to pronounce the show one more time at the beginning to prove I can. Machynlleth. But the rest of the time, let's refer to it as Mach. Now, Henry Widdicombe, the one of the geniuses, the controlling, let's not use the word controlling, the evil, no, that's wrong, the powerful, masterful controller and creator of the Machynlleth Festival has sent me a load of cool Zoom backgrounds. They're in a folder somewhere. I don't know where they are. If I can rack one up during an act, I will. But what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is we've got a fantastic show for you. We've got all of the acts handpicked to the show are all Mach Festival favourites. And halfway through the show, with a bit of luck, we are going to get bombed. We're going to get Zoom bombed, not by a naked wanking man, but by Mark Watson, who's in the middle of a 24-hour naked wanking marathon. It'll be in jokes, and you're just expected to keep up. Don't worry, Twitch overseas. There will be no actual nudity or whatever the word is. Onanism is the word. So not only on the show today do we have Josie Long, Mark Watson, rock icon Stang. I know you're excited about that. I can't wait. I can't believe he's actually going to turn up. Jonny and the Baptists, and brilliant circus stuff to start the show in just a moment from Darry J Carrington. But the most important people in the show are my sofa. So these are the members of the public, and I was about to say 12, but I don't think there are 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. My 14 members of the public who are here on the sofa. People on the sofa, give us a wave. And just because we practiced it for fun, everyone take your left eye and slam it right up to your webcam. Look at all those people out there watching you. Aren't they all weird? Thank you, those of you who committed really hard to that. One of the great things about being on the sofa is that I can pick on anyone in the show. Bean, what the fuck, man? You barely...
Sorry. David Hoare is the camera again.
David Hoare is going to show you how it's done. This is my dolly, my moppet, my punching bag. David, no, your eye, man. Jesus. That's David Hoare. Now, David assured me earlier on, because I like to pop into David throughout the show, give him grief and make him improvise things and tell us what he wanted to be when he was a kid, and then completely ignore and or mute him. But in an attempt to welcome him slightly further into the show, David assures me that he has a list of short songs next to him, so that if at any time I jump to him and say, quick, sing us a song, he can just absolutely bloody do it. Let's test it. David, hit me.
I have never used Head and Shoulders to clean my shoulders.
It's David Hoare, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's all we need from him for now. But it is nice to know. Now, there's a bit of a challenge there, because now I know that that's the first one on the list. I'm going to enjoy going back and seeing if I can recognise the chords next time. So, who else do we have on the show? We have Jose. Great to have you here, Jose. Lovely work you've done there on trying to come up with as bland a background as possible. You've done really well. You've been undone by Phil, who at least has had the decency to grow an expensive and expansive beard. Whereabouts are you watching us from today?
John.
What's that?
Not in comparison to John.
Not in comparison to John. It's a fuck of a good point. And let's go over to the Beard King himself. It's John. Now, the only reason I didn't mention this earlier on is that John's beard is obviously not real. Phil has gone understated. Phil's like, I'm going to grow a beard. John has thought to himself, I'm going to grow a political statement. John, how long have you been working on that bastard?
Well, it's about 3 years, but it's not really grown in the past 18 months.
That is 18 months worth of growth.
Ish. I mean, yeah. I mean, it slowed down a lot in the past 18 months, certainly.
That must be the pandemic. Phil, does that sound reasonable to you? How long did it take you to grow that?
It sounds like an unreasonable length of time to not shave for.
Perfectly reasonable. Neil, how long did it take you to go really bald?
20 years.
How much? 20 years? Did you go bald
20
at 20?
years. Yes.
Is that right? Holy shit, Neil. I had no idea. Neil, can you just talk us through the yin yang symbol behind you there?
It's a yin yang symbol.
Great stuff. You see, David, that's how you answer quickly. Now, ladies and gentlemen, apologies if you are hovering in the waiting room. We do accept donations throughout this show in order to be on the next show. If you fancy donating at any point to the show, then today, and for today only until midnight tonight, all donations up to midnight go towards Welsh Women's Aid. We wanted to choose a charity local to the Machynlleth Comedy Festival, so all donations go to Welsh Women's Aid. You can donate now. The way you do that, if you're watching on Twitch, and let's face it, it's the only place you're watching since we went Twitch exclusive. But underneath the Twitch window, and listen, if you're over the age of about 12, this might take you a minute or two to actually sort it out. But under the Twitch window, which is the thing a bit like a telly that you're watching this on, I'm sort of on the sides of it now. There's a button if you scroll down, not like a parchment scroll, but like using your mouse or your little twiddly finger. Scroll down, and there's literally, I've got one email from somebody who's 65 and has nothing but sympathy and respect for me. If you go under the window, there is a button that says donate. If you donate on that button, everything will go towards Welsh Women's Aid until midnight tonight. And also, there's a little fun thing we do. At 3:30, at 3:30, we are going to teleport in the highest donating member of the audience. Now, sometimes I know who that is. So far, we have raised £122.78. Let's have a round of applause for that. I feel we can do significantly better than that. So please, everybody donate on the button under the Twitch window and it'll all go to Welsh Women's Aid. Plus, you will go in the lottery for being in the show next time. Who's on the show next time, you want to know? Well, I'll bloody tell you as soon as I can scroll to the appropriate bit, which I've realised now should be at the very top of the script. Next show, 8 p.m. Monday. The guests are Sarah Millican, actual Sarah Millican. Underman, Ria Lena, Luke Benson, and also a special act who I haven't booked yet. Could be literally exciting. Maybe we'll do a vote. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's enough guff from me. What we need to start the show. Oh, Mia just donated £10, so we're off. Mia has donated £10. On the donate button, it clicks you through to a thing where it says like you can do 2, 3, 5, 10, and for some reason 500. I just put that in for a bit of a laugh. But you can also put in your own thing. So if it's on 10 and you're like, I'm not going to fork out 25 quid, you can just type in 11 quid and it happens like magic. That's the internet. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know why I'm doing this. I realised I wanted to set up another camera so I could look at it. Why go through the faff? I haven't got the cables. Now, so let's get some sense. What we're going to do? Well, let's go, Callum, for a long shot. I want to see everyone here in our studio audience on the sofa today. We're going to attempt a Mexican wave later in the show to greet Mark Watson. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a picture of the screen. Everyone's going to work out where they are, and we're going to attempt a real snaky Mexican wave. It's going to be fucking impossible. You just how hard it's going to be so that we can revel in the heroism of whatever we end up with halfway through the show. Let's attempt one now with everyone basing it on their own individual gallery view. If you feel like it's stuck, bloody well improvise and get us out of the hole. Ready? Here we go. And if this works this time, we've got to think of more content for later on because we're not going to repeat it. Ladies and gentlemen, I will start the Mexican wave. And remember, if it gets stuck, just improvise. Here goes. The reason for this is that everyone's got a different Zoom view of the gallery. I hope that's clear. Ready? To start the show, a Mexican wave, then we'll have an act. Here goes. Genuinely not pathetic. That was very good. That was very good. The final thing we need to do before... No, let's get an act on and then we're going to meet some more people because lots of people here, it's their first time, which is exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for an act. If you're ready for an act, say yeah. Yeah! Some incredible circus for you from my friend Darry J Carrington. Darryl, where are you? Here you are. Let's spotlight Mr. Darry Carrington. This is what circus people look like when they're not in the street. They're in a caravan. Darryl, talk us through this lovely vehicle.
Well, this is where I've lived for the last 10 years. And yeah, it's all made out of wood. It looks a bit like a sauna. It's very comfortable. Love it.
Talk us through the hat.
The hat, I mean, I liked it, so I thought I'd buy it.
You're a bastard. You've got quite a long face, which means you've got a good face for hats. You've got a good face
it's a
for
very
hats.
long head. Very long head.
That is a long head. Now,
it's a lot of head in it. I used to get my nickname at school was Potato Face.
It's so cruel. The obvious joke there is no, that was just the teachers. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go back to Darryl. Does it help to have a long head when you do a variety of circus stuff? Because you're a proper pro circus guy. I dabbled, but you were. Who were you in Batman Live? You were in like a touring show. Who were you? Yeah,
I was. I played John Grayson. So
John
Robin's
Grayson,
dad.
there, one of the most popular characters in Batman. Darryl, you've done proper circus stuff all over the world. You live in a caravan like an actual literal circus person. Who is? I would say that you are my most circusy friend. Right? It's a combination of the beard, the caravan, the outlook. Who is your most circusy friend?
My most circusy friend. I mean,
While he's thinking, just going to
Marky
reiterate:
J-
circusy, not sexy. Circusy. I've misheard you.
I mean, Chris Balzini went pretty hard on it. Like he literally changed his name and had had a color scheme for all his caravan and everything. Do you know what I mean? That was pretty that's pretty committed.
I suppose what I'm asking is, do you know any mad bastard that's tattooed their face?
Well, there is that guy that's always in Edinburgh, isn't there? The world's most tattooed man with a split tongue and all that jazz. And
Oh yeah, he's my friend Lucky. I'm not going to say a bad word about him. He terrifies me.
Yeah, he's pretty big.
Darryl, what have you got for us in the way of a trick?
So obviously we're in isolation, so I've been trying to figure out things I can do within that. I've got old toothbrush, right? Old Jonny toothbrush, like you lot at home, probably a bit like that. Obviously, because I'm a circus performer. Here we go. Yeah, I've been juggling for 17 years, mate. I mean, that's top notch, isn't it?
Can you just? I'm sorry, I don't know if we got the full effect of that because it's quite bright behind you. Is there any way you can you slightly shift to one side so that we can just see that? Because it is genuinely very impressive. Give it a razz.
I mean, let's be honest, Stuart, it's not, but we'll give it another go. Here we go. Right,
Darryl, move so there's another window behind you.
Mate, I live in a long box. Do you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah, it's the only vehicle he can
is that
fit his
better?
head in.
There we go.
Right, here we are. Go on. Here we go.
Toothbrush.
Darryl, it's really good.
Honestly, like, I know that's not impressive enough, right? So what we're gonna do, right? We've got old Jonny Cup here, like you lot, bit of that. This guy. Oh, didn't go in though, did it? Didn't go in. There we go. I mean, it's almost as if I'm so good at juggling, I can do this wrong every single time. I mean, and for reals, there we go. In it goes.
It's not bad for me. The real take home is you referred to the cup as old Jonny Cup here.
Oh, Jonny Cup, mate. He's a trusty old friend. But it's not enough, is it, Stu? I need to up
your game, mate. Up your game.
Up the antics. Right, let's go for a little mission. Let's go for a little wander. So I'm going to go outside of the caravan.
Many of us haven't been outside for days.
Look at this, lovely. There's my caravan. There's my barbed wire. Keep the riffraff out. That's the garden.
Yeah,
that's our lovely garden. That's
oh my God,
lovely.
Darryl, you're what we would call an executive carny.
Yeah. So I'm very fortunately locked down at Unit 15 Creation Space.
Okay.
Lovely. It's a lovely community of us here. It's amazing space. Only £5
so
a week
you're
to
all
train
locked down. You're all locked down in a great big box full of circus people.
in. Yeah. I mean, it's absolute hell. No, I'm joking.
Imagine the smell.
Hey, Stu, we might live in caravans, but we've got showers, mate. Don't worry. We're very hygienic. So here we go. So can we see that? Oh, that looks like I need to do a bit of that.
Hello.
Let's get that somewhere a bit better. Is that good? Can you all see that?
Yeah, 1 second, Darryl. We're just going to pull back for a second. I just want to point out how good is his gimbal, right? What fucking gimbal.
Oh yeah, strong gimbal game, mate. I mean, look how gammony I am though in this light. Jeez. don't ask me about Brexit. All right, there we go. So, yeah. So right, like usually, like when I do this act, I get two people to hold on to it, but like there's no audiences. We're not allowed near people. So I've got a book, a glass, and some metal cups, and I'm going to climb up on that, and then I'm going to do the trick, right?
All right, let's have it.
But can we get a little drum roll to get me up on there? Would that be all right?
Let's have a drum roll, please.
Lovely. Terrifying.
That's commitment to a drum roll.
Am I still there? Okay, I'm still alive. Great. Right. Okay, here we go. Big trick. Don't patronise me.
Give it a cup.
Okay, right. So I've been figuring out what's the hardest thing I could do, right? So what I'm going to do.
No.
That one there. Toothbrush into the cup on the head. Ew, I think I missed. Don't worry. got. Here we go. Ah,
Oh my god.
this looked a lot easier in the instructional DVD. Okay, right. Another toothbrush. Here we go. Oh. Now, Stu, mate, Stu, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to do this until I get it right. Okay. Okay. Here we go. No,
Incredible!
that is genuinely never happened
Absolutely
before.
incredible, unbelievable. Very impressive. Very impressive, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go. That's something
Ladies
to
and
do with
gentlemen,
it.
I'm desperate to cut away in case he necks himself on the front. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking Darryl J Carrington. That was absolutely fantastic. Darryl is absolutely wonderful. Oh my God. Thank you. Please stick around. Enjoy the rest of your show. All the proceeds today from all of your donations, we're up to £181 raised. Last counted from Ray. So I don't know what that means, but we're last counted from Ray. That may be a code, or maybe someone called Ray donated recently. It's not my place to tell you. We're up to 181 quid. All of it is going to Welsh Women's Aid in honour of the, for this year, cancelled Machynlleth Comedy Festival, which we all know and love. If you'd like to donate to support the show, you can do that under the Twitch window. Press the donate button. Or if you can't cope with pressing a button, go to streamlabs.com/StuGoldsmith. But I think the button's probably easier. Coming up next, Jonny and the Baptists. But let's briefly just go over to the chat because there's a couple of people we've not met before. Kaya, is it Kaya? Kaya?
Kaya, yeah.
Kaya, whereabouts are you in the moment in the world?
I'm in Scotland and near St Andrews. I know it looks like I'm about to take over the world with my behind me here, but I'm honestly not.
Could you, before the end of the show, get hold of some red wool and a load of thumbtacks?
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, mate. And we're going to go to Arky. Arky, you're new to the show as well. Thanks so much for coming. Whereabouts in the world are you?
I'm coming to you from just outside the Space Needle in Seattle, Washington, in the States.
Holy shit, let's have a round of applause for just outside Seattle, Washington. Holy hell. Arky, you appear to have a tag round your neck. What's the tag? Is that information for if you're lost?
Yes. It actually has a telephone number on it.
Incredible. Great to hear it. And you look like a very pro streamer kind of a guy because you've got very nice looking headphones. Are you a big internet person? Do you live online?
I wouldn't say that I live online, but I certainly have a second home there.
Oh, nice one. Thanks so much for joining us today, Arky. Great to have you here. Let's go over to Bin. Hello, Bin.
Hello. You're right.
Yeah, I'm really good. What were you doing there? You look like you were deciding to. Were you
Yeah,
typing?
so I'm on my phone.
Are you watching another show, you motherfucker?
No. I'm on. No, I'm on my phone, so I'm having to scroll through the. I can only see 4 people at once. I'm having to scroll across to see.
Oh, which 4 people have you got right now, Bin?
Well, at the moment I've got me because I know that I'm looking at my phone. Sorry, quite narcissistic and narcissistic.
Bit weird, mate. Can I just check for the sake of knowing about the technology? Have you got me now?
Yes.
Have you got David Hoare now?
Yes.
Oh, back to Bin. Whereabouts are you watching?
Sorry.
Where are you watching from?
I'm in Edinburgh.
Are you in Edinburgh?
So,
Fantastic. So glad that we've got some Scots joining us. Are you Scottish?
No.
Nobody.
Okay, good.
Those
things, that to me suggested that Bin has been asked that before in Scotland and has adopted an instant defensive position. Just ladies and gentlemen, we are going to welcome a fabulous act to the show. I cannot wait to see these guys. They're so lovely. I miss them desperately. That's the lovely thing about doing the show is getting to see your friends. But often it's just the piquancy is too much to bear because both of these men are just the best huggers in the business. Please give it up for Jonny Donahoe. And at the moment, just Jonny Donahoe and Paddy, ladies and gentlemen. Jonny and Paddy, it's Jonny and the Baptist.
Hey!
Thank you.
Now, Jonny, let's go to you first. You're traditionally the spokesperson for the band, even if I accidentally keep referring to you as Paddy and the Baptist.
I think that seems fair.
How are you doing, Jonny? How are you coping with lockdown?
Well, I got dressed up for your show because I believe that's the right thing to do. and I couldn't find my top hat, so I've made myself a do-rag from one of my baby's muslins. And I was worried it was sort of culturally appropriating something that I shouldn't. But my partner, Josie Long, who's on the show later, said, "Don't worry, all bald men are allowed to wear that."
That's interesting, Johnny. And we're just going to do a quick vote. Do any of the non-white members of the sofa think that that's cultural appropriation? And back to Johnny.
Okay, I would say. I mean, I'm wearing this very much in the vein of a Walt Disney pirate.
You look like Smee.
Yeah,
do look like Smee.
I've come as Smee in his new life as an accountant.
Hey, don't take offence, but have you ever given your Smee?
I have not, but I would be honoured.
The entire internet is out there. If anyone's in the chat that could mention some of the lines that Smee says, or does anyone in the gallery raise your hand if you know anyone on the sofa? 1 second. Hello. It looks like we could put together an entire pirate. There's no need at this time because Paddy has come as Thor.
Yeah,
Hello
due
there.
to a series of communicative and administrative errors, I'm dressed as Thor, and I thought that that's what everyone was doing today. So I look like a real twat, but I've really committed. Like I've gone for it. I've even got a Mjolnir. I was like, don't worry, guys, I'm doing this Avengers show in a bit. Like, it's going to be sweet. And all my flatmates were like, yeah, it's going to be great. And then I saw you all on the stream and went, oh, fuck.
Well, don't worry. I think we can make your dreams come true. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to play a very quick game before we hear from Johnny and the Baptists. It's called Get a Thing. First person back with a hammer wins. Go.
Oh. I don't own a hammer.
I mean, surely I won.
I have a mallet.
First person apart from you, obviously. Let's just go back to, I just want to get the gallery view. Has anyone, hello, it's Anne-Marie, ladies and gentlemen. And that's a mortar and pestle.
No, it's a mallet. It's a mallet, and a singing bowl.
That's a mallet. Hello. Oh, hello. That was lovely.
I've got just Alan.
Hang on a minute. Oh, yeah, is there anything more frightening than a Scottish woman with a real hammer? David Hoare has got a toffee hammer, fucking typical. And over here, Ali, what's that?
A tomahawk. It's the nearest thing I've got.
Have a tomahawk. So for whatting with?
Whatever you'd like, really. No, it's
slightly regretting going into this game.
In my garden, it's for that.
You always had it. Do you throw it? Are you one of those tomahawk throwing people?
Yeah.
Can you show us? Like not right now, but like later in the show. Could you set something up and throw it for us?
I haven't got any targets here, so no.
Has anyone got time to pop round? Has anyone got time to pop round Ali's house? Present a live target. Listen, we're enjoying this tremendously. Thanks everyone for getting a hammer. The winner was Anne-Marie, even though it's not technically a hammer, but I did like Ali's act very much. Now, listen, what we haven't done on the show before, and I'll address this to Johnny. You're pretty much would you say you're the leader of Johnny and the Baptists?
No, I'm the de facto idiot.
Fantastic. We've. I'll address you as de facto idiot. We've never had a double act on the show before, and it's only recently occurred to me that we can't put both of you on the screen at once.
Well, I wouldn't worry about that because we're going to perform some songs together, and they won't be in time.
Oh, great. Okay.
So, before we do anything, though, I would like to say, Stuart, I mean, this is an absolutely lovely show. It is always a pleasure to see you, but especially when you told me about the format of this show, I was very scared. I thought the people who are on are going to be crazy, and they're not. They're lovely. They're extremely lovely, or at least I thought they were, until you set them the task of all going and getting a weapon. And it turns out they all have a weapon right by them. The fears of the internet have returned.
I have to say, Johnny, oh my God, hang on a minute. Let's just look at some of these. Archie, what weapon did you manage to grab? Jesus Christ. One I'm most frightened of. John, presumably you've got a couple of battle axes there. Do you? Oh, no, fair enough. Fine. Absolutely fine. Now, listen, before we hear from Johnny and Paddy, Johnny and the Paddies, I'll get it right eventually. Before we hear from you guys, it has just occurred to me, I've been chuntering on for so long that we are now already overrunning before we've only had the one act on. So at apparently 3:30, excuse me, apparently at 3:30, Mark Watson is going to join us. We're going to attempt to do a Mexican wave for him before he zips off. So I don't imagine he'll be bang on time. Would you mind, Jonny, if we had one song from you guys and then you were sort of ready that if Mark turned up, we could kind of gate crash your set and then we'll do another song after?
I'll tell you what, we'll do for you right now a very quick 30-second song.
Sounds good.
Lovely.
We'll see where we are, and then maybe we'll do another 30-seconder. Then we'll do Mark, and then if there's time, we'll do another. And if there isn't, we'll just call it a day. Quick.
That is absolutely the spirit of the Infinite Sofa. Let's give it a good solid go 3 times, and if it doesn't work, fuck it off.
Yeah.
Paddy, which person do you think out of yourself and Jonny should be spotlit during this bit? Jonny, are you both singing, or is Jonny singing?
I think, well, usually we both sing, but I think that would be an audio disaster. So maybe have me for the guitar-y bit, and when you hear singing, go over to him.
Love your work. Please welcome Jonny and the Baptists.
Todo está sarò torno misto. Allo carino no mi sarà mismo. No hablo español.
Oh, fantastic. Oh my God. And do you know what? Something we should maybe have said earlier on, Paddy, have you done that thing where you set your audio settings so that it doesn't cancel out your music?
I don't know what that is, Stuart, so I obviously haven't.
I'm going to talk you through it now in as entertaining a way as possible.
Brilliant. Okay, all right, hit me.
If you go down to your mute setting, the little mute icon down at the bottom left.
Yeah.
It's not that entertaining so far. I'm trying to pull a gag out of my ass as I do it. Hit the little arrow icon, go to audio settings, and then go down to the bottom of audio settings and go to advanced. When you get to the advanced tab, you'll see audio processing. The top 2 things are suppress persistent background noise and suppress intermittent background noise. Disable both of them, and then Zoom will stop trying to think that your guitar is the awful caterwailing of a wanker.
Oh my days,
and instead,
you've
it
just
will let
solved such a huge problem for me. I mean, this is great. What else do you know?
Well, if you want me to solve another huge problem for you, I've taken away Jonny's video so that he's apparently no longer visible.
It's great. I mean, he's been frozen on my screen for about 90 seconds now. So,
do you know what, Paddy? This is your big moment. If his internet connection has gone down,
this is the dream. I'm dressed as Thor, and he's dead.
I'm just going to pick you up on the precise context of the dream. Paddy, listen, I was in a double act for a long time as a street performer, take a drink now, and I was the one that did all the talking, right? Whilst my mate Noel would just do the absolute bare minimum of skill stuff and be loved by everybody.
Right.
I wonder at the time whether he wanted to step forward out of my shadow. Have you had similar feelings about this relationship?
I mean, a little bit, because I'm very much, neither of us are good with technical stuff, but I'm younger. So I've very much taken the front seat on every online gig because I understand how it works.
Oh, does that mean while he fucks about with his internet that you have got a little bit of backup gear that you could sort of fill in?
No, of course not, Stuart. I haven't thought that far ahead. I mean, I'd love to say that I came prepared, but I'm dressed as an Avenger, Mr. Goldsmith.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, well, I'll tell you what we'll do then. Just while we've got you, maybe we could grill you on some of the secrets of being in a double act with Jonny Donahoe. He's actually now, requesting readmission to the room. I don't have to let him in.
Let him back in. Let him back in. I love him too much to. Okay.
Let's see if we've got Jonny back. Hopefully we've got Jonny back. Apologies. Where is Jonny? Where is Jonny? This is exactly one of those times where David Hoare could improvise a brief duet with Paddy.
Yeah, here we go.
David.
Let's go for it, Paddy.
In the key of C.
Okay.
Here we go.
Lovely.
I assumed one of us would sing, but neither of us did. So,
I believe you have reckoned without the malevolence of David Hoare and his. No, malevolence is the wrong word. Do you guys with guitars, are you able normally to just pick up a thing and just go nuts?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, do you want to see? Actually, I bought a new instrument solely for these sort of online gigs because I wanted something weird. Check this out, dude.
Hey!
Can you see that, Stuart?
Oh, they're so good.
Oh my God! Hang on 1 second, Paddy. Hold that thought. Johnny, we've moved on. Paddy's running the show now. We'll be back to you in a second.
You'll love this, dude. Don't worry, man. Johnny, look at what I've decided to bring onto the show. Your favourite thing.
Oh, I hate this. Can you do the Friends theme?
So no one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you're broke. Your love's life's D.O.
I'm fairly certain you could sing the Friends theme over any collection of random notes and achieve a similar effect.
Turns out, mate, you can do whatever you want with one of these.
Okay, here we go then, Johnny. Let's have another song from you guys. Are you back? Are you happy? You're stable?
Yeah. What happened? Did you? I just froze.
Yeah, no, your video just went blank. I think your internet connection might have gone down.
Oh right, okay. Did you get the punchline?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. Did you not? Oh yeah. No, we loved it. We all clapped. You were carried shoulder high around our virtual. We loved it. Yeah. It was good gear. So
Lovely.
Johnny, are you in a fit state to crack out another song? I don't know if there'll be a Watson, and they've not been in touch, so we'll see.
Okay. Do you want a long one or a short one?
Let's have a long one. Why not?
I'm ready. I'm fun.
I don't know what song it is, and I've got to start, presumably.
Oh, right.
So
This song is.
Did anyone else think that "I'm ready, I'm fun" was a brilliant code word between two double act guys?
Just thinking aloud. It's a little song for all the dangers going around in the world. It's called "That's Dangerous."
Oh,
Take it
sweet.
away, Pads.
okay.
Getting too close to the stove.
That's dangerous.
Playing with the flame.
That's dangerous.
Putting things into your ear.
That's dangerous.
Joining an insurgency.
That is dangerous.
Tingle the jam.
That's dangerous.
Eating jam around some wasps.
That's dangerous.
Putting jam around your face and running at the wasps, shouting, "I am the jam monster. Fear me, wasp."
That's dangerous. That is dangerous.
Walks into the toaster.
That's dangerous.
And pulling the cat's tail.
That's dangerous.
Often shitting blood.
That's dangerous.
Any kind of glue.
That is danger glue.
Patient.
That's dangerous.
Talking back to father.
That's dangerous.
Letting father see your fear.
That's dangerous.
Telling the police.
He'll find out.
Looking down a hose.
That's dangerous.
Standing on a rake.
That's dangerous.
Running with a gun.
That's dangerous.
Not checking out that lump.
That is dangerous.
Exercising crystal meth.
That's dangerous.
Undercutting local dealers.
That's dangerous.
Hiring due protection.
That's dangerous.
Hiding in the coal shed. Really need to sneeze. They are gonna hear me.
This is how it ends.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, fantastic work there from Johnny and the Baptist.
It's all
I
true.
absolutely love that. Listen, guys, could you do us one more quickie?
Yeah.
Sure, man.
Okay, then hold on, guys. Before you do one more quickie, we're going to welcome our best donor so far. We're going to teleport in Mr. Al Knapp. Here comes Al Knapp to the show. We've so far raised 196 quid for Welsh Women's Aid, so feel free to keep those donations coming at the donation button under here or at streamlabs.com/Stu Goldsmith until midnight tonight. Any donation after that time will go towards the Monday show, and you'll get an invite for the Monday show with Sarah Millican. In fact, you get that invite anyway, even if you donate today, but the money until midnight goes to Welsh Women's Aid. So here we are. Let's see. Have we been joined by Mr. Al Knapp? Here he is. Let's give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay!
Al, so much for coming. You've got some great framing there. You look a little bit like Feathers McGraw when you leave. Thanks so much for your donation, Al. You're a friend of the show. We've seen you on the show many times. Whereabouts are you, Al?
I'm in Norfolk.
In Norfolk? I had no idea. What's your single best thing about Norfolk?
The coast's very pretty.
Oh, nice. David, improvise a song about the coast.
Water ends, it's where the water ends. Water ending.
I didn't say stop improvising.
I said
with
stop.
David, you've got to give him on a short leash. You've got to keep him on a short leash. if he starts thinking he can just say two things and a bit of strumming and that constitutes a song, where does it end? Thank you so much for joining us. You now take pride of place while we hear another song from Jonny and the Baptists.
I just want to say before we start the song, David, I absolutely love your songs, but also earlier you did that song about Head and Shoulders.
Yeah.
I had an idea for the Head and Shoulders company that they could start a body wash called Knees and Toes.
Let's talk.
Yeah, maybe we could make a bit of music. This is a little love song. Paddy, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, John Harm. Are you?
Yeah. Yeah. You've got a terrible face. 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 You've got a horrible face. You've got a horrible face. You've got a horrible face. But you're rich. Quick bit of fun.
Bit of fun, isn't it? Lovely bit of business.
Thank you so much, Paddy. Jonny, thank you so much for being part of the show.
Thanks for having us, Stuart.
Before you go, Paddy, we've had a request on the chat from Dave Nats. Please, can Paddy use his new instrument to do the Muppet Show theme? Do you want to give that a round?
So need to. It's time to meet the Muppets and with something and the Muppets and something and that's all they are. Oh, it's Kermit the Frog.
Jonny on this one. I think it's a piece of shit. Ladies and gentlemen, please Paddy Jervis and Jonny Donahoe. It's Jonny and the Baptist. Thank you so much for being part of the show.
I'll see you later.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a couple of thank yous. Thank you to Mia. Thank you to Mach with 4 H's, Ellie BW, Al Knapp, who of course got in, Kate Webb, Ray KNYC, Philip Little, and Jen Slow for donating so far. We've currently raised £196, although that is the total I said a minute ago, which means it may not be updated. Now, we've had someone else attempt to join the room. Oh, it looked for a minute there due to a typo that we've actually raised 1,200 quid, which would be so much nicer. Think unlikely. 200, we've cracked the £200 mark. And producer Callum, do you know who Victoria is? There's someone in. Oh, Victoria is from the bloody charity. Let's invite Victoria into the room. Victoria is from Welsh Women's Aid. Let's see if she comes in. Bin, I feel like you're laughing at me because I said she's from the bloody charity. You hold this many balls in the air at once. Let's see. I've invited her, but she's not here. Not to worry. We'll crash on. Ladies and gentlemen, we have something pretty incredible now. A little while before the show started, we were contacted by one of the most incredible guests that we've had on the show. You know, we've got big people. Acast has done the show. Coming up, we have Sarah Milliken, Susie Ruffle, Randy the Puppet. We have Nish Kumar, all at twitch.tv/Stu Goldsmith and via infinitesofa.com, which is where we're all going to put it so they don't have to fanny around with the word Twitch. But I don't know. Did that feel bad? I felt that really was limp. Every time I think of the word Twitch, it makes me think of a sort of vacant, goggly gamer going like this. And I look out at the sofa audience and I think, move on. So the point is that we've got an incredible guest for you. And you're not going to believe this. So if he's out there, I don't want to say his name unless he's actually going to turn up. If he's out there, could he turn on his video? Because we've got something really rather special. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this. It's rock icon Stang.
How you doing, guys?
Oh,
This is the Infinite Sofa, is it?
That's right. Thank you so much for coming along, Stang. I mean, I fired off that invite. We had the huge campaign to get you here via Twitter. No one thought you were actually going to make it. Can we just, one more time, let's just do a Mexican wave as well as you can. It's Stang. Stang is in the house. Absolutely incredible. Now, Stang, we've just seen that Rob Sedgebeer, Mark Watson's tech genius, has just joined us. They're bang on time, and I fucked up the timing.
You're fucking interrupting me, pal.
I'm desperate to give you your moment in the sun. Not that you need a moment in the sun.
No, you go.
those Grammys, the triple platinum stuff. You just hang out. We're going to admit Rob. Hopefully, we're going to get connected to Mark Watson's 24-hour marathon show, and perhaps you can do some fundraising for them as well.
Please.
Is it true? Is it true, Stang? While we're just waiting for the connection to warm up, do you? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here we go.
I'm going to move you into the show now.
Okay.
The guy bit lot is still there, so it may be a bit chaotic for a bit. Okay.
It's going to be clunky and eggy, but here is Mark Watson. Here's
yes,
Rob.
moving you now.
Rob?
Yeah, give me a second. Hold on.
No worries. How long have you been awake, Rob?
Too long.
I don't know how clear it is to everyone on the sofa, but Mark Watson is a fabulous comedian known for doing these marathon shows. He's in the middle of a 24-hour one now. I believe it started a good while ago. I can't remember the timings.
9 o'clock last night.
9 o'clock last night. Pathetic. Anyone can push through that hard. Ali, you and I have partied. What happened at the Mach? It went through from Friday night, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. And then on Monday, what happened?
One person quit their job rather than go to work on Monday morning.
Someone quit their job. That's a party, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Look at my God, we just caught a glimpse of Sam Pamphilon and Darry O'Brien there. I say a glimpse, but certainly enough that from now on I can say Dara's been on the show. So that's a win. You go. Oh, that looks like it might be critical password information. As we are getting ready, I feel like it's not really fair to chuck anyone else in this. Could we have a bit of a chat? Stang, are you happy to chat with us? I know it doesn't really befit your massive status. It would be awful for you to be cut off, but listen, it's doing a big charity fundraiser. You're known for your work in charity. What sort of stuff have you been up to during the lockdown?
Well, you'll all know about my charity singles, like the one for the Kazakhstan tsunami.
What was it called, Stang?
Drowned in Love.
It's
a double A side, as you'll know, with Washed Away by Hope. And of course, it was also the Vatican City famine. The single how tin is too tin for a pope. Well, you know.
Stang, do you feel like, I mean, you are in the upper echelons of oh, hello, you're apparently appearing on Rob's screen as well, and now you've gone white, as befits your status as an angel. Tell me, do you ever feel that you're flying too close to the sun? Do you ever think you might actually become something more than human?
Some people have called me savior and icon. I am here to save you all. They're looking for a vaccine right now, and I've been out there breathing the things, and I think I've got the antibodies, guys.
You personally have got the antibodies. Is that connected to all the tantric sex that you have?
Don't give any credit. Don't give any credit for my superior body to that lady.
Tell us, Stang, your autobiography is coming out soon. What's it called?
Empathy of a Millionaire.
Are you gonna release a single at the time to celebrate the publication?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, if you, sorry, Stang, hold on.
Well, that's
not
not me on screen, by the way. Now.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Mark
I don't know who
Watson,
that was.
Can you hear us?
Hello. Well, I can hear about. I'm not exaggerating. I can hear about 11 things. I can hear 11 things. I'm a naked man. I feel like everyone see that.
Yeah, no, we're all hallucinating the same thing.
I'm like a naked man. It's no exaggeration to say I can see 4 versions of myself and I can hear about 11 voices. I feel like someone in a medieval narrative poem who's died and has ascended to the spheres.
Literally, Mark, if you had filmed an anxiety dream I had about doing this moment, this is what it would look like.
I can only liken this
Muted everyone
in the narrative poem Troilus and Cressida.
Can I confirm that we all saw an Elvis impersonator with his jacket open just for
I feel like that happened.
That definitely happened.
This is rock icon Stang.
Here he is again. Please tell me
we've just been sent a message saying that he has to be careful not to show his nipples on Twitch.
Now, while they're there, that's not Dara, but let's pretend it is. Dara, Ellie, and Sam, thank you so much for this weird reunion where Dara turned into Ghost Elvis. We'll say goodbye. If you guys hang up from the room,
good luck,
and we'll chat again in a bit. But thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
As it began, a total mess. Goodbye, Ellie, Sam, and Dara.
Okay, so
I'll
it
now
looks like
stay
we're in
here.
a position now to go over to Mark Watson
Mark
now
Watson.
that whatever he was doing previously is concluded. Let's find out if that's the case. Hello, Mark.
Stuart Goldsmith.
Hello, hello, mate. Thank you for joining us. You're on with 12 members of the public and rock icon Stang. You've been going since 9 o'clock last night. How are you feeling?
Well, do you know what, Stuart? Most of it's been quite, in fact, all of it's been quite fun. But the past few minutes really were pretty peculiar because of the wizardry that has been involved technically in hooking me up with you. There was a period where I was in one window and also in yours, and I could hear yours. And Darryl was claiming he was invisible, but he wasn't. And basically, I felt as if I'd in some ways died. So it's a relief to hear just your voice now. Because, I mean, I have to say, the effort that Rob and Steve and all the people running this technically have gone to is extraordinary. But occasionally, I'm stuck in this limbo where I'm looking at 5 windows, and I'm in all of them. And I'm hearing 9 streams, and I'm in all of them. And you just sort of think it would be cheaper to just get on drugs, really.
Yeah. Mark, what we're going to try and do to show that we can go to just as much effort as you guys, I'm going to spotlight my video. I'm going to show the order that everyone is in. That's in everyone's order. We're going to attempt a Mexican wave on Zoom in your honor, right? This should.
If anyone can do that, Stuart, you can.
So if you can see there, it's going to start with me, then go to David Hoare, then Kaya, then Ali, then John Daintree. Then Jose is going to go upwards from John Daintree, pass it to Arky, who passes it to the guy in red we've not spoken to. Apologies. And do you see what I mean? Then it goes to Bean, then Ian Wood, and now my phone's gone dead. So I hope you had the chance, everybody, to see what that was. Do we think we're going to try and do it?
I see what you mean. But if someone walked into the room now and said, hand on heart, have you got a fucking clue what's going on in your life? I would say, no, not at all.
Mark, just stay with us for just 1 minute. We're going to attempt to do this. There we go. Here we go. That's who you are, everybody. Can you all see that? Your spotlight there. This is probably the sort of janky technical version. It goes down from Ian Wood to Neil. Neil then goes, I think that's Phil. Then it goes to Boyana. It goes to James B. Then it goes to Anne-Marie. And then it goes down to whoever that is at the bottom. It's Stang. And then it goes to Al. And then it goes to Bin. Now, of course, Stang wasn't here when we explained what this was and how to do it. So this should be a lot of fun. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Watson, I'm just going to come to you, Mark. Are you ready for, I hope, the world's first 18-person Mexican wave in honor of your 24-hour attempt?
Put it this way, Stuart, I can't see myself being any more ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. It starts with me. I have absolute faith in you. We're only going to do it once. Hooray for Mark Watson's 24-hour marathon show. Just improvise, pricks. We've achieved the impossible. It's an infinite Mexican wave, ladies and gentlemen. It's an infinite Mexican wave on the infinite sofa. Thank you so much, Mark. What's been the highlight so far?
Oh, that.
Thank you very much. That was the right answer. How does this compare to previous marathon shows?
Well, in some ways, it's been much easier and more fun because there's always people around. I haven't had to stand up that much. The general vibe and the people that are watching this, I don't know if they're still watching it because I don't understand anymore. I might as well be Beyonce for all I can follow this now. But the people that have carried me through this, the community of people watching it are incredibly supportive. And sorry, I can see myself 3 times on the screen and it's a little bit odd. So it's been actually one of my most enjoyable ones. But highlights, well, we married 2 people. There's these 2 guys that were meant to get married and they couldn't because of the old... Have you heard about the pandemic? It's a shocker.
Oh, the Panny D. Yes, we're aware of it. Yes.
Around here we say Pando, but I think you can have either. I've been pushing Pando for a long time now. So there's been lots of moments. I mean, we had Sir Tim Rice and we asked him about the periodic table. You've seen these shows before, Stuart.
Yeah.
But there have been, and by the way, everyone that's run the show technically or supported it has been absolutely amazing. But just because of the complexity of what's being attempted here, there are times when I don't know whether I'm Arthur or Martha or someone that doesn't even have a rhyming name.
That is, I mean, you've got a lot of sympathy for us. You do look as if you've been up all night on a 3-day party. Is it sort of as taxing as previous ones?
No, do you know what? Actually, in a way, it's not, because I always underestimate doing it live in a theatre, how hard it is to sort of stand up for ages. That is a big sort of drawback. I've been seated in front of a computer for all this, so in some ways, it's just been like a sort of gaming marathon or something, I imagine.
Yeah.
But then we have had moments where, I mean, again, this software is incredible, really. It's amazing we can do stuff like this. But sometimes there's 17 people on the screen, and you think, I'm sort of in charge of this, but in another way, I might as well be a zookeeper here. So it's been very interesting. Oh, yeah, someone mentioned we had a bloke that ran 2 marathons over the course of this show, one on the first day and one in the second day.
Jesus Christ.
Absolutely stupid. Yeah, there's been loads of amazing contributions like that, and I'd say overall I've had a 4 out of 5 time. And what would be the extra star would be either, it's not even these bits where I don't know what I'm doing, it's that there's been loads, as always. I reckon every long show I've ever done, we can never get past 4 out of 5 because there's always so much unfinished business. Like we tried to get Faye from Steps, couldn't get her. We keep trying to get footballers to buy these caricatures that this amazing artist of ours is doing. Can't get them. So, but I think what I'm saying is we've only got 5 hours to go, and I'm already frustrated at the missed opportunities. I might go another day here, Stu.
Go for another day. I think what this format is crying out for. Can we get some encouragement, please? Why don't we start chanting, "Go another day, go another day." Thank you so much for joining us. Good luck with it. We're going to see you out now. If we can pull back, Callum, to the long shot, we're going to see you out by everyone looking at you incredibly closely up to their webcams. It's deeply unnerving, and maybe it'll send you over the edge. Bye for now, Mark. Here you go.
I don't mind that. Oh, that is weird, actually.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That was technologically difficult, slightly unsatisfying, but nonetheless very much in the spirit of the thing. Welcome, everybody. We've got a fantastic act coming up. But first, we've just got to go back to Stang. Stang, what did you make of that? Was that anything like the 72-hour throbbing musicathon that you famously did on the roof of the Hilton 2 years ago?
Oh, the vulgar display of pyrotechnics.
You absolute fucking hero.
You don't even know what this is. I'm not used to performing to less than 20,000 people, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel your pain. Stang, listen, what we're going to do is we're going to get some questions for you, if that's okay, from the sofa audience. We're going to ask the sofa audience to ask some inspiring questions that'll really test that'll really test your knowledge of your own career. So hands up if you've got a question for Stang.
And then we're gonna need to talk about the charity.
Of course we will. We'll talk about the charity in just a moment. But as anyone, hands up if you have a question for Stang. He's clearly proved that he can roll with some pretty big punches. Al Knapp, what would you like to ask Stang?
Which is your favourite of the Grammys you've won?
Good question.
Country grime.
Fantastic.
Best female country grime album.
Any other questions? Al, that was a doozy. Any other questions? Ali, let's go to Ali.
Who would you duet with if you could duet with anyone?
Who would you duet with?
Well, I'm kind of hoping cloning gets off the ground soon.
Brilliant.
Me. That's what I'm saying, Ali. Me.
Yourself. Thank you, Stang. That is a classic Stang answer. Probably got time for 2 more questions, as hard as you like. He's obviously good at answering them. Hands up if you have. Here we go. Arky, what have you got for Stang there?
Well, if this cloning does happen, will there be pyrotechnics?
Pyrotechnic? I think he's asking. I think I've just worked out what he's asking.
Come again?
Stang, if you clone yourself...
That's more your business, I'm afraid.
Yeah, thank you.
Arky, I'm only human. Actually, I'm not only human, am I?
Thank you. Final question, please, for Stang before we move on to our celebrity interview at the end of the show. Here we go, James B.
What?
James B, what have you got?
I prefer the solo life compared to being in a band.
Yeah, tell us about your band. What were they called, for those of you that don't know? What was the band called?
Well, they were called The Hype, and then I found out some guy named David Bowie. And like that, I don't know. It's something. Never heard of him, to be honest. Yeah, we were called The Hype. Obviously, we smashed all the records as well, you know. And but let's not talk about those guys. They're you know who they are. Let's talk more about me. The solo stuff. That's where it's at. That's where I get to shine. Shine.
Could you just say shine for us again, please?
I'm not a shine.
Go on.
Just wanted to say, I know you mentioned talking about sponsorship before, and I don't really want to do that because I would sully the show, but that is the most refreshed I have ever been.
Before we move on to I say a celebrity interview, obviously not by your standards, but just a humble artist, comedian, and all-round fabulous person. But Stang, would you join us for a quick game of hide and seek?
Sure.
We're going to ask everyone on the sofa to hide within the confines of their camera view. So I think Archie and Phil are going to be in trouble, but give it your best shot. Ladies and gentlemen, please now hide. I'll come looking for you. Give it as creatively as you like. Okay, just a couple of seconds there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming ready or not? Let's see now. Bean's done some very good hiding there. Lots of options. Ian, he's surprised to think he's even in the room. Mike, I think... Mike, I feel, could almost be bending the rules a little. Mike, I think I found you. I've seen your fingers, Mike. You're found. Good work, Mike. Good work. Jose, is Jose actually in one of those cushions? That's impressive. Boyana, we've not heard much from Boyana, but I think the green blanket there is quivering. I think so far, Boyana, you're found. Thank you very much. I really can't work out where Phil is. That's very good. Over here, celebrity guest Beck Hill is doing very good, but she is wobbling slightly. Al, we're going to say we've found you there. Let's go to Kaya. She could be literally anywhere in the world. Now, what I've realized is when we play this with everyone at once, there's no one there to laugh at my riffing. John, can I ask you to reveal yourself? John Daintree? Very impressive, very impressive. That's what we'll do then. Going forwards, I will ask you slowly to reveal yourself. Neil, would you slowly reveal yourself? Very impressive. Very impressive. Ali, would you slowly reveal yourself? Very good. Bean, would you slowly reveal yourself? Bean? No. Oh, we're very impressive. Very impressive. Rock icon Stang, would you slowly reveal yourself? Very, very important. We're gonna finish with the master, but let's see. Archie, would you slowly reveal yourself? Very impressive. Jose, would you slowly reveal yourself? Oh, very good. Very nice. Very nice. Bin. Where's Bin? There's Bin, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Bin. Everyone else apart from Ian, would you slowly reveal yourself? That's James B. That's Bin. That's David Hoare. And we're just going to, and Kaya, very well done. We'll just finish with the master. Ian, slowly reveal yourself. Gentlemen, it's an infinite sofa unless Ian ends up in the cupboard. Ian, thank you so much. Now, listen. Something that I've got 2 announcements to make, and then we're gonna finish with the wonderful Josie Long. And the next show at 8 p.m. on Monday, the guests are Abandaman, Ria Lena, Luke Benson, some kind of fabulous special act as yet unbooked, and Sarah Millican. So I hope everyone will join in for that. Any donation from now on until midnight will go to Welsh Women's Aid, but it will also put you in the lottery to get a seat on the sofa for the next show with Sarah Millican and all those fabulous guests. So please donate with the button underneath the Twitch stream or at streamlabs.com/Stu Goldsmith. We're we're missing Mach desperately. And I've got to be honest, guys, you are really helping me to miss it a little less. One thing I've realized that someone should probably have made me aware of, and when I say that, what I mean is I should have been aware of this and I wasn't. I haven't referred to the Twitch chat at all. So unless absolutely no one has said anything on it, then apologies for not paying attention to the Twitch chat. We do have 100 people watching, and we're going to come to the Twitch chat in just a second and try to stop them feeling neglected. But now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm enormously proud to bring our headline guest to you. Would you please welcome not Johnny Donahoe, as her webcam says, but actually Josie Long. Hello.
How are you?
Mate. I'm really well. I'm really well. Thanks so much for coming on the show. It's been even more than usually massively disorganized. So thank you for holding on for us. You're on a good 15 or 20 minutes later than I said you would be.
Pleasure. Just don't look at that. Any of that. None of that is in screen.
No.
None of that. That. All of that. This in screen. What I'm doing is I'm using this time to multitask because it's time away from my daughter.
Excellent. Excellent. And very, very wise. How's parenthood treating you? How are you?
Oh, do you know what? It's actually a little bit more like relentless hard work than I had hoped.
Did you find when you first had your baby? She's no longer a baby. How old's your daughter now, roughly?
She's going to be 2 in a month.
She's going to be 2. Jesus Christ! It just zooms away, doesn't it? Did you find that when you first had her and were pushing her in a pram, other parents with older children would come and say supportive things like "It gets better. Don't worry, it gets easier." And then did you discover that it didn't get easier?
Okay, what I would say is I discovered there were 2 types of people. There were people who I liked, who are good people, who say, don't worry, it gets easier. And people who are the scum of the earth, who say, I think this is hard. Those people are bad people. But here's the thing, I think it does get easier. It does. But the problem with lockdown is it's like somebody said, do you remember how hard it is to have a newborn baby and not be able to do anything and not be able to take them anywhere and not have any real support? And you go, yeah, I'd hate to go back to that. And they're like, here you are. You can go back to that indefinitely.
Oh,
Except
man.
no, I don't want to complain actually, because I think it's actually very wonderful and very nice and very cute. Like my daughter yesterday, I was reading her a book and she went, we were halfway through and she went, I'm full up. Like, yeah, fair enough. What's that? And she does like a delightful thing a day, at least.
They do lots of lovely, delightful things. My son, now that he's 4, I'm just going to read this verbatim. He told me a week ago that his invisible friend told him everyone was going to die in a week. So we've tried to give him a healthy attitude towards death, largely through the repeated watching of the Kung Fu Panda films, in which characters turn into stars and enter the spirit realm, which is really sweet. But he's just saying so much mad shit about death at the moment. Everyone's going to die in a week, and then under normal circumstances, you'd be like, no, that's definitely not going to happen. Now it's pretty important to sort of try to maintain something sort of optimistic with it.
My friend's 10-year-old, in about January, read something about the coronavirus and came to her and said, Mum, this is really scary and this is and basically said exactly what has happened since. And now she is too frightened of him because she sees him as a prophet. And she's too scared to talk to him.
She's too scared to talk to him.
Because she's like, he called it all. What else does he know? He's holding it back.
Much like the author Dean R. Koontz predicted all of it right down to the name Wuhan, apparently.
Yes, I saw that too. Can I say, I've been realising, I was like, there's something going on with this that it feels odd, and it's because it's the first time I've heard someone laughing at something I'm saying. Yeah, bring Mrs. Baby up.
Oh,
Oh my God. Oh,
eating some orange.
One of the most impressive things about motherhood. Oh, there we are. I was going to do a joke about it being impressive that during motherhood your arms elongate and get thicker, but Johnny banged his head. It was Johnny's arms to which I was referring.
Okay, baby, but you can
And then he
take
put his
mummy
little head in there.
squash. You can take mummy squash.
Hello,
It's
Mrs.
sugar free, which I
Baby.
think is also bad for them, but she doesn't have it very often ever. Okay,
Everything's back
down. It's lockdown. I need you to know it's lockdown. How
do
do you
you-
feel, Stuart?
Go on.
Have you? Sorry.
No, you go for it. Go for it.
Do you feel as if your normal rules have been relaxed in lockdown?
There is a little bit of there's a little bit of TV time in the mornings while I do a Joe Wicks workout and then tag my partner in to do a Joe Wicks workout. So that's kind of relaxed. There wasn't normally TV in the mornings, and now they expect it. The thing we're really missing is. Sorry, did you want me to spotlight myself while you eat? I can absolutely do that.
No, I don't mind. Apparently, that's a stream people like.
Is it? Oh God, is it?
Also, I'm so sorry. I'm loving this so
we-
much. I shouldn't be eating at the same time. I'm
We
just sort of
stumbled
like,
upon a sort of speciality ASMR experience where
Yeah,
comedians eat meals for your pleasure. Yeah, no, we're doing all right. We're missing swimming. Missing swimming. And you're a wild swimmer, and my wife was telling me last night that there's been a bit of chat on wild swimmer forums that she's on, whereby everyone has sort of agreed mutually that you're not supposed to go wild swimming under lockdown, even though it's exercise. I think that's a bit of a
I know it's heartbreaking. I can't really get anywhere in a reasonable amount of time, so I just haven't been able to do anything. I have a friend who's swimming in rivers in Oxford. She does it all the time. She's always done it. She's so safe. I
Yeah.
just think I think it's tricky. There's so much speculative discourse as to what is right and what is wrong.
Say that again.
Yeah. There's so much speculative discourse as to what is right and what is wrong, but there's so many people sort of going, well, actually, technically, if you were to do this and an ambulance would come to there, then this would happen. And actually, and I also think so much of it is wildly unhelpful. So yeah, but it's a moot point for me. I'm in Clapton. I'm by the River Lee. If I got in there, I'd have more problems than solutions. Yeah, I miss swimming. I miss it so much. My daughter, last night, this morning, in fact, she woke up early, and I was in the bedroom with her, and I was sort of dozing, and she was playing with some horse toys that she's got, figures. She loves them so much. And I could hear her, and she was going, please, can I go to nursery? No, it's shut. Please. And then the other day she said to me, can we go in a cab? And I was like, I didn't even know that we used to go in a cab.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That
little
is
things.
yeah, it's weird, the sort of the elements, the things that you miss from the different bits. Like, what have you told your children about the or your child, sorry, what have you told your mystery
The
child?
other one's a secret.
Whatever. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Get back in there.
I just assume that everyone has kids now, because the day that we had our second child, I lost all respect for you people.
I completely understand. Like, I have a very good friend who has 2 kids, and I feel like he's looking at me the whole time like, you're playing this on demo mode.
That's 100% right. Josie, stay with us for a second. I'm just going to address the people in the sofa and the people in the chat at the moment. Thank you to all those people. PS Twitch has just supported us with 15 quid. David Shutters just supported us with a £5. It Crowd 2 just supported us with 3 quid. Remember, all of this goes to Welsh Women's Aid up until midnight tonight, but all of it gets you in the lottery to get an invite to the sofa on Monday's show with Sarah Millican. And someone says, PS Twitch says, hi Josie, is the greatest toy ever close to hand? I'm going to assume that's a reference to material rather than something more salacious. But who knows? We don't know.
I don't know what this person is talking about.
Fine, that's absolutely fine. Let's go to the sofa. Raise your hand, anyone on the sofa, if you have a question for Josie. Stang, rock icon Stang, would like to ask you a question.
Why didn't you call me, Josie?
I'm afraid it's due to your tax arrangements.
Thank you.
I can change.
Anyone else? Hands up if we have a question for Josie.
Stu?
I'm going to have to mute Stang in a minute. Go on, Stang. What have you got?
Are we done here?
Are we done? Yeah. Do you mean can I go and do something else? Yeah, you totally can. Yeah. I don't know if that was a question of rhetorical, are we done here, or if it's just I didn't officially tell Stang that his bit had ended at 8 points. Such is the joy. You know, when I said earlier on in our pre-interview call, Stang, you know, I said it's basically like the Muppet Show. What I meant to say was it's a Mickey Mouse operation.
Thanks for interrupting, guys. Sorry.
Thank you. Cheerio. Thank you, Stang. Thank you, Stang. Ably assisted by the brilliant Rob Kemp. So find out about him on social media. I can't remember whether we put his stuff up or not. Now, Josie, we've oh, there we go. Thanks for Heather Lilias has said, I don't understand what this is, but thank you. That's exactly the kind of reaction that we want. Josie, do you
compliment you long for? I think one long for.
I don't
Whatever
understand
this
what this is. Now listen, here's a subject close to both of our hearts as comics. Obviously, sometimes people heckle, people shout things out, but you're the sort of actor who cultivates the sort of audience who I imagine would be more supportive than to heckle. What's your favorite positive heckle that you've ever had?
Oh, I've had some really nice ones. So recently I have a bit in my show where I pretend I mime using a 10 colours pen. You know, those things loved by tweens.
Do you mean the ones that do that? They
got 10 colours, yeah, and you shift the colour.
Yeah, gotcha.
You know?
Yeah.
And I mime, and I'm like, I'm gonna do all 10 colours in the mime. And then I lost count. And when I got to 10, someone was like, "You're there!" So warm. And that's what I do. I get a lot of people just in general being really like, keep going.
Yeah, totally. I lost my place and kind of forgot what I was talking about halfway through a going pretty well set at Glastonbury in the cabaret tent. And I was having so much fun. I improvised something, fell into a bit of a blind alley and went, what was I talking about? And someone at the back of the tent shouted, "Go on, Stu." And it was sort of almost passive aggressive.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what.
So
that's what happens. I was going to say that's what happens when you don't have fans so much as supporters.
That's a high. Sorry,
Josie, tell us. Do you have a garden?
I think it does count as a garden. Yes, we've got a very small. I would say it's maybe 4 good paces by 4 good paces.
Oh. That's a very medieval garden.
And it backs onto the road. So we have a little gate. So, and basically it's overseen by about 30 flats. So it's a very weird little thing. We're on a little cul-de-sac. It's great. It's not in any way private or secure for the child, but I'm grateful for it. It's got a tiny slide in it that we put in it. And we're growing some mint. So yeah, I mean, thank God for it.
You're in a bit of mint. Is there a reason why mint specifically?
It was there when we arrived.
Why we're growing some mint. You've done a lovely PR job on the concept of we're trying not to kill some pre-existing mint.
Listen, I've had government media training. There's more mint there than any of us know. And there'll be more mint in the future.
What I'm going to ask is, I'm just going to address this to everybody on the sofa. People on the sofa, could any of you, and raise a hand if this is the case, are any of you in a position that you have a garden and you are able to access that garden and briefly show us your garden, just so that we can all share in a sort of garden experience? John, let's say Kaya. Kaya's in Scotland. I'm hoping for something very pretty, if not actively strewn with heroin and needles. Let's find out.
Can you see out the window?
Wow. Oh, is that your garden?
That's some of it.
Oh, big talk there from Kaya. Big talk.
I live in the grounds of a castle, so you know we all do up in Scotland.
All do in Scotland.
In fact, we've got a Canadian in the room, James B. Just to point out to you, that's absolutely factual. Every Scottish person lives in the grounds of a castle. James, do you have land? What's your sort of outdoor situation? Are you somewhere exciting?
I live in a 600 square foot concrete box, and yeah.
Thanks very much. That was so Canadian. He basically described a horrific tomb way to live in an incredibly positive and upbeat way. The concrete box. So yeah, fine. Do we have anyone else? Ali, are you in a position to take us into your garden?
I'm not, I'm afraid. My better half is very hungover downstairs, so I don't really want to be casting with a live webcast.
That sounded like a really genuinely awful euphemism for something, so we'll move on immediately. Anne-Marie, can you take us into your garden?
I live in a plastic caravan, so I can take you onto my deck.
Oh my God!
Wow. And I too am in Scotland, but I'm in northeast Scotland, Cataline, Stonehaven.
Oh, wow.
Aberdeen.
Oh my God! Look at it. Oh, look at it, Anne-Marie. Thank you. This is it. Oh, you're actually able to. Please don't drop your laptop.
Oh, that's my garden.
Oh, let's see your garden, Anne-Marie. Look at that. Are you growing any mint?
I had to leave my previous house because it was overwhelmed with the mint. So no mint.
Stark warning there to Josie Long. You've really got.
I'm in danger. I'm in danger.
Can we have a huge round of applause for Anne-Marie, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you, God. Hey, listen, we're going to go over to Bin. Bin's travelling as well. What have you got for us, Bin?
I'm actually going out to my garden. I have a palm tree in my garden in Scotland. So
hang on a minute. I may have misheard that, Bin. I may have misheard it.
no, there's definitely a palm tree. Hang on.
In Scotland, we have this thing called quality of life.
Yeah.
So here's some of my garden. Woo.
Oh, lovely. I suspect you may be walking away from your Wi-Fi.
Palm tree.
Palm tree, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my Lord.
Palm tree.
Oh, I love it.
That's so good. Bin. Can I ask what Bin's short for? Is it short for something or is it just Bin?
Yeah, Bonaventura. No, it's not. It's Belinda.
Damn it, for one beautiful moment there. Now, I've got a lovely thing to add to that, which is a riff on my son's name, but I'm not going to mention him online because I respect him. Now, Josie, thank you so much. Oh, hang on. Sorry, we've got one more garden to look at. Josie, we're going to ask you to judge who has the best garden. This is Jose. He's framing this such that we can see a fence and nothing else.
Jose, have you got a summer house?
The washing.
Garage.
Is that, Jose, is that a summer house or a garage?
It's a garage.
Oh, God, you've got some sun, though. Josie, which is your favourite garden thus far?
Okay, baby boo.
Oh, sorry.
No, my daughter really hates gardens. And
Yeah, sorry about that. My the kids are the same. They're whatever the term
do you know
is.
what? I was a fan of Jose's because it was secluded. It had practical, but also rest. And also, what I would do is turn that garage into a shepherd's hut.
And then, Jose, have you considered turning the garage into a shepherd's hut for Airbnb purposes?
Yeah, I'll have to find somewhere else to put my junk.
No comment. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Can we give Josie Long a huge round of applause? Thank you. Josie.
Thank you all. This is so exciting. It's like being in front of an audience for the first time in months. I'm so thrilled to meet you all. Thank you so much for having me.
To save us emailing you from permission, do you mind if we quote that? Because it's really useful for getting acts on the show. Bridget Christie, for example, would love to come on, but is a bit scared of doing shows where it's like howling into the void. So if I just tell her that you said that, great.
It is the opposite, thank God. Like, I've been doing streams of my stand-up show, and I do enjoy it, but having a chat window of people talking on screen is not the same. And then I tried to do Twitch streaming of playing chess on chess.com, which is my new hobby, and I found it so terrifying that I was like, oh, this is giving me a panic attack. This is the worst thing I've ever done. Oh, hello. Hello.
Where's our daughter?
She's off. She's off.
She's gone for a pint.
Do you know what?
I believe one of the Scottish people just said she's gone for a pint. I think it's probably time to leave that there. Thank you, Josie. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me. Thank you. Lovely to see you.
Bless you. Thanks so much for coming on the show. We'll see you again soon. Ladies and gentlemen, we are £6 off 250 quid for Welsh Women's Aid. So by the time we've added in the £100 tickets that everyone on the sofa is going to pay afterwards, sorry, did I not mention that? It'll be more by midnight. We're off £250. It would be lovely to finish the show over in it'd be lovely to finish the show. It'd be lovely to finish the show having hit some sort of arbitrary target. 250 quid seems reasonable. Someone jump on that and sort us out. We're only £6 off. In the chat, Ali Hancock says mint is a beast of a plant.
It is.
A beast of a plant. Amanda Donnett says, my dad bought my mum a 10-colour pen for their wedding anniversary, and I just can't get past Heather Lilias saying, I don't understand what this is, but thank you. I think to finish the show, let's go to David for a 5-second song. Hit it, David.
Apparently, to stay healthy, you've got to do 10,000 steps a day. But I thought there was only 5 members of Steps.
I'm going to have some pretty stern words with David about what constitutes singing, but impressed with that. Can we give David Hoare a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you, David. Can we also give a huge round of applause for Callum Morin, who produces the show? You can tweet him at @CMorin if you'd like to give him grief for any of his decisions up to this point, but I think he's done very well. I'm just going to sort of hang around. I know, Heather Lilias, I know you were talking about something else. I just thought I could get 2 gags out of it about 15 minutes apart, and I bloody did. Ladies and gentlemen, next show is going to be Sarah Millican, Abandaman, Ria Lena, Luke Benson, plus an unnamed circus act, unnamed so far, circus act TBC. Should be pretty fun. If you are on the mailing list for this show, which you can sign up to at infinitesofa.com, then you will get given information about the virtual green room that ordinarily you could go to. However, there is currently a Mach green room. It's a virtual Mach experience. It's going to be live for another 40 minutes or so. There could well be some comedians in there. It's a little fun place to wander around. So if you're watching this, go to the link at comedianscomedian.com/Mach, M-A-C-H, and use the password that you will know if you are in the Mach mailing list. I'm going to tell the people on the sofa that password, but I can't make it public. I'm afraid I can't tell people on Twitch right now because of the risk of WOMs. That's wanking old men. So there's no green room for the show today, but there's virtual Mach, comedianscomedian.com/Mach. If you're a comedy fan and you've been to Mach before, you can probably guess the password. I don't know if you've still got me. I've just been notified that my connection is unstable. The password with a capital first letter and lowercase the rest of the letters is the most delicious and crisp, refreshing drink that you would associate with the Mach Comedy Festival. So get stuck in there. If you're a naked, wanking old man, give that a Google. You'll probably be able to rustle that up in about 2 minutes. So, gentlemen, all I would say to you before we leave, and I say a version of this every time, is that like all comedians, like most comedians and nearly all self-employed people, all the live work that I've been enjoying doing has dried up and vanished over the pandemic. I spent 25 years getting people together into crowds, and that is now illegal. So every week of lockdown, and we're into week 7 now, I have been developing this show along with producer Callum and to a far lesser extent David Hoare to be the warmest, happiest place available online, to be the opposite of isolation, to bring together comics, you in the studio, you on the sofa, and everyone watching at home. We can only do it with your help. So if you're watching us on Twitch, please follow and you'll get notifications whenever we're on. If you subscribe, you can do a free thing with Twitch Prime, but it's almost too complicated to go into. If you've got an Amazon account, you can link it, an Amazon Prime account, you can link it and it gives us a bit of money at no cost to yourself. You can't do it if you're on an iPhone, but you can do it on every other medium. But almost everyone finds it mind-bendingly and complicated. But you can share the show, tell people about the show. You can donate actual money. We have just cracked. Becca just supported the show with £6. We've broken 250 quid. Thank you, Becca, for pushing us. Thank you also to Don Sponks. That's Don Sponks for an additional 10 donation. We're now on 260. If all you want to do is turn up to watch the show and enjoy it, that's beautiful too. And if all you want to do is watch at home, enjoying the stuff and not paying and just clapping at the end of the show, that's great. I will take that enjoyment. I'll put it between 2 slices of dry bread and I'll try and feed my hungry children. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all we've got. Donations to Welsh Women's Aid up until midnight tonight, so please still donate if you can. And everyone that donated from this show, from the beginning of this show onwards, will be in the lottery to get an invite to the Sarah Millican one. Please join me in thanking everybody on my sofa. Thank you, everybody. Give it up for all the excellent sort of Darry J Carrington, for Jonny and the Baptist, usual played by Ross, for Josie Long, and I've been Stuart Goldsmith. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, Monday at 8 with Sarah Millican. See you then.